Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. Central banks plotting to invade crypto. Where does XRP fit in? We'll explain. And R3 CEO, oh my goodness, taking shots at XRP and so much more. Somebody wrote that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it is $1.68 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 3.2%. Bitcoin 42,500 plus right now. Ethereum 2,200 and change. Tether market cap 90.9 billion plus, ladies and gentlemen. That's an all-time high, I believe, and 62 cents for XRP, which is not an all-time high. We're up 2.3 on the 24-hour, off by 1.2 on the 7-day. Range of price very quickly here. 60 cents on the bottom, 63 on the top. We're sitting about in the middle there. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get started because we have a lot to go over today. The SEC has, and by the way, we are going to get into predictive programming in the Freedom Zone. And you're going to want to know about it, I'm telling you. And we got something else coming today from Mr. Bill Gates. Boy, wait till you see what this guy's up to. Celebrating the country with a really red flag. You're not going to believe it. In the Freedom Zone. But let's look at this right now. The SEC has opted to extend the deadline to February 6, 2024 to approve or deny the application for Invesco Galaxy Ethereum ETF. We'll keep you up to date as that comes in. That is the Ethereum ETF from Invesco Galaxy. Meanwhile, the strategic review of the BlackRock accessing the spot Bitcoin ETF bypasses concerns of the SEC, which means that everything is pointed in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have this gentleman here. I think is it Hogue or
and secondly,
Matt Hogan. That's what it is. Matt Hogan from Bitwise is going to tell you about what's going on and to listen to the market because BlackRock is coming. Basically, that's what he's saying in short.
Just as a realpolitik thing, you have to listen when BlackRock comes to the market. They're the largest ETF issuer in the world. They're very careful. They're very connected. And I would be lying if I didn't say that that was an important signal as well. Bitwise has been committed to bringing a spot Bitcoin ETF to market for 4 or 5 years now. We're committed to being amongst the first pack. So those two factors are what changed the game. And we're now optimistic there is a pathway forward.
There you have it. Now, some people are suggesting that Bitcoin will have an immediate spike if they get these approvals. Then there'll be some kind of a retracement. Then there'll be the real push of money coming in. That may make sense where you see a profit-taking moment in a retracement, should all of that take place. Doesn't mean it's financial advice, so just digital perspectives here. But Bitwise listed a spot Bitcoin ETF on DTCC, known as BITB, and it makes 10 crypto predictions for 2024 very quickly here. We'll just run through these. So it says Bitcoin will trade above 80,000, setting a new all-time high. Then they say spot Bitcoin ETFs will be approved and collectively will be the most successful ETF launch of all time. 3, Coinbase's revenue will double, beating the Wall Street expectations by at least 10x. It says 4, more money will settle using stable coins than using Visa, which is very close to that now. 7 to 11 trillion are the numbers I've seen quoted just recently in stablecoin transactions. JP Morgan will tokenize a fund and launch it on-chain as Wall Street gears up to tokenize real-world assets. Ethereum revenue will more than double to $5 billion as users flock to crypto applications. Taylor Swift will launch NFTs is to connect fans with new ways. And more than likely, that'll be revenue sharing in her catalog. AI assistants will use crypto to pay for things online, affirming crypto as the native currency of the internet. More than $100 million will be staked in prediction markets as they emerge as a new killer app for crypto. And it says here, number 10, a major upgrade to the Ethereum blockchain will drive the average transaction cost below 1 cent paving the way for more mainstream uses. Bonus predictions: 1 in 4 financial advisors will allocate crypto in client accounts by the end of 2024. That's a hell of a prediction list there. And we know if they approve these things, we got big things coming here. JP Morgan analysts, while maintaining an overall cautious stance on the cryptocurrency market, foresee Ethereum surpassing Bitcoin and other digital currencies in the market price performance by 2024. Listen, I mean, if they get that cost transaction down to use Ethereum to gas fees, yes, then you are going to see some more application and demand for Ethereum, because Ethereum has smart contracts, right? So it, unlike Bitcoin. So, that's the thing. You have to be careful as this market develops and you see this big money move in. Remember, ETFs are investment products. They go up, they go down. There's lots of that happens, right? So then there's this. And this harkens back to something we've touched on here on the channel. And this excites me, and I hope it does for you. In a move that's stirring up the financial world, central banks across the globe are gearing up for what can only be described as crypto invasion. From January 1st, 2025, central banks are set to hold up to 2% of their reserves in cryptocurrencies. Oh, do tell. Yeah. Well, what this touches on here is that January 1, 2025, they're set to hold up to 2% reserves in cryptocurrencies as per groundbreaking directive from the Bank of International Settlements. This is just a flirtation with digital currencies. It's more like a full-blown courtship, signaling a significant shift in the traditionally cautious approach of central banks towards dynamic and often unpredictable world of crypto. Well, careful what you call crypto, because we know that the Basel Committee and the Banking Supervision has laid out a meticulous plan to integrate crypto into the banking fold. Post extensive consultation and feedback, this plan divides crypto assets into 2 distinct categories. Group 1 is the safe zone, comprising tokenized traditional assets and stabilized cryptocurrencies that adhere to existing Basel framework's risk weights. It's like the central banks are saying, we trust you, but let's not get too wild. And on the other side of the spectrum is Group 2, the high risk zone. These are the crypto assets that don't meet criteria for Group 1. Banks dabbling in this group will face a conservative capital treatment, akin to a financial version of walking a tightrope without a safety net. The exposure limit for these assets is set at 2% of the bank's Tier 1 capital, with a strong recommendation to aim lower at 1%. Breaching these limits triggers more stringent capital treatments, underscoring the cautious embrace of these riskier digital assets. Now, what are they talking about? They're talking about this right here. Are we watching XRP become a stable coin with the introduction of automated market makers and the prudential treatment requirements from the BIS Category 1 versus Category 2, which I just explained to you? Where would you classify XRP? Group 1, capital requirements, tokenization of traditional assets. We know what that is. That's bonds, stocks, the rest of it. Group 1B, crypto assets with stabilization mechanisms. So, does this mean just a peg to a currency? Or could this also mean stabilization mechanism as in automated market makers liquidity pools that help stabilize price but not halt price? I don't know the answer. I'm asking. I know one thing, Group 1 is a more coveted group of assets than the riskier Group 2. So understanding that Ripple, XRP, the ledger, it's all working with inside the financial system, what do you think the banks are going to see this as? XRP is a Group 1 asset, or XRP is a riskier Group 2 asset, but somehow is going to serve as the water to relieve the friction for the financial world? We'll see. Then there's this guy. Oh boy, this guy right here. David Rudder, founder and CEO of R3, takes shots at XRP, but he also drops some information about where he's at with their adoption. Take a listen.
David, we can't talk about digital money without talking about blockchain. That is essentially the technology backing it. Talk to us about the potential of blockchain in financial services.
Sure. I'd challenge one thing. I'm not sure blockchain is essential for digital money, even though I come from that. I think what blockchain did was got us all to think differently about how we did things.
And very quickly, blockchain is not distributed ledger technology. Blockchain is like Bitcoin.
Importantly, to give you my perspective, and this isn't a sales pitch, but I've had 40 years in Wall Street in various roles, and I've owned broker-dealers. I'm a registered securities rep. And I was really inspired by Bitcoin, and I thought, wow, this technology can do things we haven't been able to do in the past. It can solve the trust problem. What I see is what you see. It can be appended but not amended. It can be permission-based so that only actors that have the right to do certain things can do certain things. So we can get rid of reconciliation. We can use advanced cryptology in distributed ways to have higher security. So it opened up a whole plethora of opportunities that have actually taken longer to take hold than I thought. I've been at this for 8 years now. But from my perspective, financial markets fundamentally work. They're imperfect in many, many ways. And I looked at this technology as a way to improve upon that. And we're beginning to see some real, production-based systems. The SDX issues digital bonds that are truly digitally native, and you can settle them now with wholesale CBDC from the Swiss National Bank. You have creative firms like HQLAX, which tokenize underlying collateral for collateral swaps and balance sheet management.
Keep listening.
The Italian banking system runs on our product, Corda. We've made this.
The entire Italian banking system runs on their product, Corda.
Collateral swaps and balance sheet management. The Italian banking system runs on our product, Corda. We've made decisions around a private permission ledger because we always felt that the regulatory regime as it exists today fundamentally works. It's developed over 100 years and it can be applied to this new technology. From the private sector, I can speak a little more bluntly probably in some ways. The public sector gives maybe more credence to crypto than I ever would by talking about it as an asset when fundamentally it's not the vast majority. Almost all crypto coins that have been issued have been fundamentally about issuing a white paper and founders taking money off of the table. We've heard many speakers today talk about the nefarious usage of crypto. Calling them assets is concerning. And also, I can't tell you how many painters at my house or valets or folks that have come into contact and maybe they Google you and they think blockchain is crypto. And actually, Corda is a distributed ledger technology. We don't use blocks. It's inefficient for regulated finance. So we're not going to actually have blockchains underpinning our financial infrastructure. They express how, hey, I have half of my retirement savings in a combination of XRP, Dogecoin, and God knows whatever coin. So it's been really concerning for me, and I think that the
Oh, so now he's throwing shade on XRP and there with Dogecoin and other cryptos. Oh, David. And he goes on to do a huge dump on Bitcoin as well. But he is right that they're on the Italian banking system with Corda. There's no question there. But I tell you what, he is misleading when it comes to this. Remember when Ripple and R3 were partnered? And then Ripple had to sue them because R3 didn't deliver on their end of the relationship? I remember. Remember that we also learned from this that there was a 5 billion XRP option contract that R3 had with Ripple, right? Remember that? Remember how all these trolls out here tried to tell us that pre-allocated XRP didn't happen? They were wrong, right? They were very wrong. And in fact, that's what the real part of the decisions left over about the actual contracts that have happened, right? That were deemed investment contracts, but not the asset XRP, the early relationships that were developed. So I digress. But the point is while David Rudder sits on stage throwing shade at XRP, right? They didn't mind settling and getting some in an undisclosed amount. They didn't mind receiving that $5 billion option of XRP at the time either, did they? And they went to court to try to see how much they could try to keep too. The point is, the financial world is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and they're coming in a big way. Now, I don't know what David Rudder's hopes were to throw shade on XRP. Maybe it's because he's still disgruntled about the getting called out and having to go to court about not delivering on his end to Ripple. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's that simple. I don't know. But what I do know is that central banks are coming, and they're coming in a big way. And when they come, are they coming in the regard of wanting to be in category 1 or category 2? And when they come, will XRP be in category 1 or category 2? I say in order to serve the financial world at the level that we know that they're designed to, Cat 1 is what I'm looking for. We'll see what happens. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Predictive programming. You need to know what it looks like. We're going to show it to you in here. And then we're going to talk about Bill Gates. Oh, my goodness. You ain't going to believe who he's celebrating. I'll catch all of you on the next one.